Hello and welcome to a brand new series we're doing on Team Talon Airsoft. We're bringing you the Talon Gear Locker, which is going to take an in-depth review at each member's kit from head to toe, letting you know what we use and most importantly, why we use it. So first of all, I'm going to go first. We're going to dive in to see what I use, why I use my kit, and give you an idea of what's good in the airsoft world at the moment. So looking at my rig from the top down, you'll notice that I'm running a helmet. Now there's a few reasons why a lot of us run helmets in the crew. There's a few reasons why, mainly because it acts as a fantastic contour mount. Now obviously if you've seen our other videos, you know we do a lot of gameplay videos, and having them mounted on a helmet gives you a really stable mounting platform for these cameras. You know, the contours do weigh quite a bit, and if you can mount them to caps, you can do the headbands, but because they're pulling you down, you want a really stable platform to mount them on. So having a Replica ops core with all the fitting options on it is a really good idea for mounting cameras on. Secondly, obvious is protection. You know, we're playing a lot of CQB at the moment. There are a lot of dark basements, a lot of low ceilings, low walls. When we're charging around with full kit on, door frames, windows, you'd be surprised at how much you hit your head. And when you have this helmet on, when you start hearing how much you hit your head, you realise how good it is to run a helmet. So a really good piece of kit here. You can pick them up for varying amounts of price, starting from sort of £40 upwards, depending on what sort of model you look for. But yeah, really good. And you'll see integrated into my helmet, I'm also running a pair of ComTac headphones. So these are dual purpose headphones. One is they run my radio comms, so I plug my radio into them and I can hear my team chat. All the other Talon members are running radio, so I can talk to them. I can hear what they're saying across the battlefield, so it helps us to coordinate attacks if we're not in the vicinity of each other. And secondly, it acts as hearing protection. As I said, we're using a lot of CQB games nowadays, and with a lot of grenades going off, it really does hurt your ears if you're not sort of in a room and a grenade goes off by your feet, which happens a lot. So because these headphones completely enclose your ear, they give you the hearing protection you need, plus they feature 2 ambient mics on each side, which let you hear outside. They let you hear your friends talking, they let you hear other people around you without feeling enclosed. So really good bit of kit there, really clever. Okay, so the next item of gear I wear, and probably the most important piece of gear, is my plate carrier. So a plate carrier is this, otherwise known as a vest, assault rig. There's a few names for this piece of kit. But basically, the word plate carrier comes because in military terms, you would stick your body armor inside this, so your body plate, your armor plates inside this, which becomes a plate carrier. And obviously you've got all these Molle loops. There's Molle loops all over the vest, which allow you to attach any sort of pouch. You'll see here I've got my pistol holster. Everything can clip onto Molle. It's a really clever system, and it basically enables you to put your pouches anywhere you want. So if you're looking to sort of get some sort of vest or something, I'd really look towards Molle as a great first option. There's a lot of different price points you can look for Molle vests like this one. You can start right at the bog end with something sort of 30 quid if you want something really simple, it's not going to last too long. Or looking up to something like this, which is a Bulldog plate carrier. Now, these are available from UKMC Pro. They are absolutely fantastic. Every single member of Team Talon is now running a Bulldog plate carrier. Really great. The pouches that it comes with are really useful, and you can swap them out if you need to later on. But the general build quality of them and the size, they're large plate carriers. They offer a lot of Molle real estate, and it enables us to put all the gear on we need. So really cool plate carriers here. The way I've got my setup, you'll see at the middle, I've got my FN57 in a Blackhawk holster. So it's a Serpa holster with a strike plate on there, so it attaches to Molle, so it means I can really quickly access it. There's no leg holsters, nothing on my leg. It's really quickly accessible. It holds it in place really firmly, so I'm never going to lose my pistol, so I'm really liking up there. This big black box next to it is my radio comms. That's my push to talk for my radio, so every time I want to speak to my friends, I push a button and that enables me to talk to them. You've got magazines. Now this vest does feature 4 built-in mag pouches on the front, so you'll see these pockets are actually built into the vest itself, so you're not losing any space on it and you're not having to add any additional pouches on. So as I'm doing, I've got 4 magazines built on there, which still means that if you're slinging your gun on a single point sling, it's not going to be too fat on you, it's not going to hang out over your belly too much, which is always good. My Magpul MS2 Sling. Really good sling, recommended this a lot. It's been really stable for me, I've used it for a long time. It's got a really good quick release mechanism, so if you need to disconnect your gun really quickly, you just pull this little cord and it comes straight off. I have it going round the neck of my plate carrier, going through the shoulders. It's looped on around the back, and basically that means that there's no pressure on my neck. It's a really good idea to integrate your sling into your plate carrier, because then the weight of your gun is then on your shoulders and your general body, rather than being pulled on your neck or any one point. So it's a really good idea to route your sling all the way around your plate carrier and having it in a single point configuration like this. And I've kind of integrated it behind my pistol holster. So really good sling there. Obviously we've got the Team Talon patch, which is compulsory for all Talon members for obvious reasons. Nice and loud and proud right at the top. This tube here is my hydration carrier. Really, really important to carry water with you. It's probably one of the most important things actually, is when people turn up to airsoft games for sort of their first time and they don't bring water on. It's dangerous and it's really stupid. I can carry 3 litres of water on my back if I need to, and that sort of tube is always right in front of me whenever I need to take a drink, so it keeps you hydrated. It makes it really easy to keep hydrated. Really, really important piece of kit there. I like it a lot. On the side to me, so on the left side, this is my reaction side. So anything I need to access quickly goes on my left-hand side. Anything that's not so important goes on my right, because if you imagine you're holding your rifle, as long as you can keep your trigger finger on there, I can move this hand away and grab all the stuff I need on my left-hand side. As long as my gun stays up with one hand, at least I can react to something if it comes. So on my left-hand side of my plate carrier, I've got a spare pistol mag for my FN57, the giant mags that it uses. And I also have my OhShiBoom Impact Grenade. So the grenade's there, if I need to pull it out nice and fast, I can get it to me really quickly to deploy that nice and fast. Just behind that is a space for a SWAT BFG, so a timer BFG. So this is one that you can pull the pin, you have 3 seconds, you lob it, they're reusable. It's not in there at the moment because it had a little incident last week, so we've got to fix that, but that's where it would sit. On the opposite side to this, I have an admin pouch, which I keep a smoke grenade in, so disposable smoke, and in the admin pouch is my BFG reloading tool on a ski pass holder. Really nifty tip here. You're never gonna, people always lose these reloading tools. They're like a little screwdriver you use for the grenades. So once I'm done with that, I can just drop it and it'll return back to where it was. So really good there. Little tips and tricks. These are the sort of things you learn over time. Really useful. And if I've got any documents, any game plans or anything like that, they go into that admin pouch on the side. So that covers the front. We're now going to spin it around and see what the back of the rig looks like. So a lot of the time, the back of rigs get neglected quite a lot. People sort of don't realise the importance of what you can do to the back of your rig to make it look and function pretty well. So I've got quite a few pouches and different things on my back of my rig that I use quite regularly. So first of all, starting from the top, this is the hydration carrier that I talked about before. This is where the bladder sits, and that is a technical term for it. So where you fill it with water, chuck it in there, and the tube comes out for me to drink through. On the opposite shoulder, you'll see the 3 cables that are coming down. This is from my push-to-talk radio button. So the radio sits in here, as you can see with the big aerial. The wires go over my shoulder, again threading it all through the shoulder loops, and it comes to that button so I can use my radio to talk to the fellow teammates. On the hydration carrier is a double mag pouch for the M4 mags, and you might be thinking that is the stupidest place to put M4 mags. Trying to reach those mags for a reload is not going to be ideal. They're not for me to use, they're for the man behind me to use. So obviously we're in a team. Team Talon is all about teamwork. So if anyone runs out of magazines in a team, they can grab one from my rear. Well, that sounds a bit weird, but all of us run mags on my back. So if anyone needs magazines, we're all running spare magazines for the rest of the team, so that's why they're there. Tactical tape is so important. I cannot stress how important electrical tape is. Most of us carry a reel of electrical tape on our rigs. Things break in airsoft, things snap, you lose screws, you need to bodge bits in the field. Tactical tape has saved our asses so many times, so a really useful thing to carry with you. Just below that is a double pistol mag pouch. These are really good for putting pyros in. I carry a sort of 2 Mark 5s on my back, again for the man behind me to grab. The reason we have grenades on our back is because if you imagine a breaching situation, you come out to a door at CQB, I'm the first man, my gun's up. I shouldn't be the one grenading because I need to watch that door with my gun to make sure no one comes out. If I'm fiddling around with grenades and someone comes out, they're just going to shoot me first. So I keep my gun up, it's the man behind me who does the grenading, so that's why they're on my back. Moving along to the other side, so we've got my radio pouch obviously, which holds our Talon radios. We've got below that a tornado grenade. So again, for the man behind me, if he needs to use a tornado grenade, that's a gas grenade that fires 200 BBs out at once. You can lob that into a room, fill the room with BBs, all good, and that's for the man behind me to use. And I've got a general utility pouch here, which can hold anything from spare torches, food, cable ties, spares, general spare stuff. So that's in there for the object carrying. And that is the back of my, of course, the strobe as well. You see this flashy green thing. We all run these in the back of our rigs so that in dark scenarios, CQB stuff, we can tell if we're about to shoot one of our team in the back. So if we've got a flashing strobe, it's Talon. So next on the list to move down to is the belt rig. So we'll switch camera views and you'll see what my belt rig consists of. So the idea of a belt rig is to basically give you more Molle real estate. The belt rig's been sort of my most recent purchase, and the same with another thing. We ran plate carriers for a long time, but kind of realised actually we're getting quite a lot of stuff. It's getting very crowded on the plate carrier. So I brought the belt rig, and it really opened up the space to put more things in more places, put simply, but in really accessible places. So because plate carriers sort of sit quite high, they sort of end up here. You've got a whole sort of where you're used to having pockets on jeans, for example, you've got all that space to put pouches and grenades and stuff. So working left to right, on my left again, so remember me saying before, my left is my reaction side, so everything I need to get importantly and quickly goes on my left. So I've got 2 more impact BFGs, these are SWAT impacts, so 2 of these on the left for really quick deployment. In a video, I was going around a corner and I could get a grenade out and lob it in 4 seconds, because all you need to do is literally get that hand, undo the pouch and throw in a motion. So having these here means you can really react quickly to anything where you need a grenade. My dump pouch down here, so once I've used the magazine, I take the magazine out of my gun, dump it in the dump pouch, as the name suggests, and I can get a fresh one out. It just really speeds up that reloading process and means you don't have to put your empty magazines back in your magazine pouches again. One round to the left, I've got penknife. So yeah, penknife is really, really useful in the field. Definitely worth carrying at minimum a penknife and an Allen key set, because that's what your airsoft guns use the most, and it's, you know, great for tightening up screws or helping someone else out. Really important. Back one more is another Timer BFG, so that's another Dynatech BFG there. So that takes the tally up to 5. You can see why we need a lot of real estate now. A lot of us are running multiple grenades, multiple magazines, so we need a lot of space to put gear. Behind that is a double pistol mag pouch at the moment. It's only got a Allen key set in there, so it's like a penknife Allen key set, but really useful. Going around one more, it's a second dump pouch. So this is a slightly different design dump pouch, but that's what I use to put my empty grenades in. So I keep this one for empty magazines, and then this one over this side is for empty grenades, because we're using BFGs, which are reusable. So once I've thrown it, I have to go into that room, pick it up again, and put it in my second dump pouch. So that's there, and on the right of that, I can't even see, is 2 more magazines. So they're on the right because it's really the only place I had left for magazines. It's not ideal on the right, but I don't think I'd ever need to use these quickly, the 2 magazines, because I've got the 4 on my chest. So they're on the right-hand side just because it's kind of the last available space, and I shouldn't need to get them too urgently. If I do, I can still cross and get them in that motion, but not too difficult. But that takes up the belt rig. Belt rigs are really comfy. I think belt rigs is probably where the team differs most with our setups, because people have put different things. You know, some have got pistols on the belt, some have got magazines on the left as opposed to grenades, and they're really cool purchases. I mean, I got mine, as I said, it's the most recent one. A recent piece of gear I've purchased, and it made a huge difference to how I could sort of access things really quickly, and it took a lot of weight off the carrier itself. Before the belt, I could definitely have not mounted the pistol there, because I had sort of grenades up top and it was very crowded on the vest. Now you have sort of 2 areas to put pouches. It makes it a lot less crowded. You've got a lot more space and a lot more space to space out the pouches, so you can find everything a little bit easier. The last thing is obviously clothing. So we all run Multicam MTP in the team. So I run standard issue MTP trousers with U-backs of whatever sort. Or in the summer, we just run Under Armour tactical t-shirts. Boots are some crazy Salomons in a crazy colour, which you're seeing currently. I love these boots because they're bright red, and fuck it, I love to stand out because it's me. Which also happen to match my red Mechanix gloves. You know, nothing more than standing out. Why bother with camouflage at airsoft? You're not going to get hidden. So that's what I'm running clothing-wise. Keep it really simple. And that's the rig. So I hope that gives you kind of an insight into why I run what I run, and sort of you look at it and you go, that is a lot of gear, but I hope that it makes sense why we're running this much gear. And what I would say is that a lot of guys I know sort of see my rig and go, why bother? Why bother carrying this much stuff? You know, it's heavy, it must go over, you're going to lose stuff. And I'm like, no, because we spent the money on buying a decent plate carrier that can support the weight really well. Because it's tight around the waist, you're carrying half the weight on your waist and half the weight on your shoulders. Everything is tight. So when I'm running, there's nothing rattling about. I'm not worried about anything falling out of pouches because everything's fitted to a pouch. And the weight's even distributed. So actually, I'm probably carrying like a stone and a half of gear when it's all full up with ammo and water. But you just don't feel it. I can quite happily go for a day. It's not restricting my mobility. I'm jumping through windows, I'm running down corridors. And that's what you get from spending the money on decent kit. You get the ability to carry a shite load of gear without restrictions on mobility. So I hope that makes sense. If you've got any questions, of course, leave a comment down below in YouTube, and make sure to follow us on Facebook, because that's where we all post regular updates and info of what we're doing, which is facebook.com/Team Talon Airsoft. And don't forget to head to our sponsor, where you can find most of this gear on there. A lot of the gear is done from other places as well, but of course all the bits, the accessories and everything like that is available from SOCOMTactical.net, or hit them up on Facebook. Cheers guys, and I'll see you next time for the next Talon Gear Locker.